Hey there. So Game Freak just did something that has the entire Pokemon community absolutely losing their minds. And honestly, I can't blame them. We need to talk about the Pokemon Legends ZA DLC situation, because this is either genius marketing or one of the worst moves in recent Pokemon history. So here's what happened. During the recent Nintendo Direct, Game Freak dropped a bombshell. They announced the Mega Dimension DLC for Pokemon Legends ZA. A game that literally hasn't been released yet. The base game comes out on October 16th, and they're already selling DLC. The DLC features the new Mega Evolutions, including two different Mega Raichu forms, Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y, plus what appears to be new Mega Stones that eagle-eyed fans spotted in the background of the trailer. It's a post-game story expansion involving Hooper opening dimensional rifts throughout Lumia's city. Now, on paper, this sounds awesome. More Mega Evolutions, a dimension-hopping story, sign me up. But here's the problem, you can order this DLC right now, before you've even played the base game, and that's where things get spicy. The Pokemon community is absolutely furious, and I think their anger is completely justified. Let me break down the main issues. This is unprecedented in a bad way. Announcing paid DLC before your game even launches sends a terrible message. It makes it look like content was deliberately cut from the main game to be sold separately later. Whether that's true or not, the optics are absolutely horrible. Now the price. This is already a big issue amongst all the new Nintendo Switch 2 games, as the price of these games have become more increasingly expensive. Hence, these fans are comparing this to the full indie games like Hollow Knight Silk Song at $20, or even major releases like Hades 2 at the same $30 price point. This really sets a dangerous precedent. If this is successful, what is stopping Game Freak from making this the new normal? Announcing DLC before the game's launch, charging high prices for what should be included content, the backlash has been swift and harsh. The ratio of the announcement trailer tells the whole story. Now let me try to see this from Game Freak's perspective, and trust me, it's not easy. Some people are arguing the DLC isn't technically Day 1 DLC, since it releases soon after the game launches. The content apparently isn't finished yet, so it's not likely they're holding back completed content, just to charge extra. But here's the thing, if the content isn't ready, why are you selling it already? Why announce it at all? This feels like Game Freak is testing how much they can squeeze out of fans, and honestly, it's working because people are pre-ordering it. There is also an argument that this is just following industry trends. Look at how many games announce season passes before launch, but Pokemon has generally been better about this stuff. The Sword and Shield DLC was announced after the games had been out for a while, and while people could judge this on the base game's value, yet again we've also seen this with Scarlet and Violet, where we've also gotten more amazing DLC. This controversy isn't happening in a vacuum. Pokemon fans have been waiting and increasingly frustrated with Game Freak's practices. The technical issues in Scarlet and Violet, the feeling that games were being rushed to meet annual deadlines, the increasing monetization of features that used to be included, the removal of the beloved features like the National Discs. This DLC feels like the last straw. Fans are tired of feeling like they've been taken advantage of, and this DLC for an unreleased game is the perfect target for that frustration. What's particularly frustrating is that the new content looks generally cool. Those new Mega Evolutions, the dimensional storyline, this is stuff fans have been asking for, but the way it's been handled is completely overshadowing the actual content. So, where does that leave us? Well, Game Freak is clearly testing the waters here. If the DLC sells well despite the backlash, expect this to become the new normal. More expensive DLC, announced earlier in the development cycle with higher price points. But if the backlash is severe enough and sales disappoint, they might reconsider this approach. The problem is Pokemon fans have a history of complaining loudly and then buying things anyway. My prediction, this DLC will still sell well, incredibly well because it's Pokemon, and Game Freak will take that as validation of their approach, which honestly makes me a little sad for the future of the franchise. But this feels like a misstep that could have been easily avoided. If Game Freak had just waited until the base game launched, let people play it and judge its value, and then announce this DLC, this would be a completely different conversation. we'd be talking about how excited we are for the new Mega Evolutions, instead of how disappointed we are in the business practices. The saddest part is that this overshadows what looks like a genuinely inciting content. Those Mega Raichu forms look incredible, and I'm sure the dimensional storyline will be fun, but now it's tainted by this controversy. So what do you think? Are you planning to buy this DLC despite the controversy? Do you think Game Freak has crossed a line here, or is it just the natural evolution of the gaming industry? Let me know in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please any support is welcome. So thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.